Hi guys, welcome back to the Missing Piece podcast. I'm here today to film episode number 3 with the beautiful Ebony.
Hi.
So Ebony, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us your name, where you're from, what you do, a bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name's Ebony and I'm from Birmingham, born and bred, and I'm a mental health nurse. I've worked in mental health for the last 12 years, and I've also got a diploma in counselling, and I'm also a mentor as well for university students.
That's amazing. So the theme of this podcast is making peace with your past and moving forward. So I'd like to ask you, is there anything in your past that you've had to make peace with and move forward from?
So there was a time in my life, quite a good few years ago now, where I was going through depression, and it also led to a bit of self-harm as well. It kind of presented as me indulging in a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
A lot of tearful moments, sleeping a lot when I should have been doing something more productive.
Yeah.
Not eating well, isolating myself from my family, just having like a really low self-esteem. But yeah, it's not a nice place to be, I don't think.
But I think it's very brave of you to share that with us today and to actually open up on camera about that, because there's so many people that are suffering with depression and they're too scared to talk about it or feel like they're the only ones going through it. So I feel like a lot of awareness needs to be raised around that.
Yeah, definitely.
I just want to apologise.
Why?
It's so bunged up.
No, it's
No,
fine.
there's something in the air this year. Honestly, the hay fever, it is killing me softly. So this is me in my real natural form now.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. You're doing well. You're doing well, girl.
Bunged up and all of that, but yeah.
You'll be fine.
So, where is it that you're actually working now? Is that in the mental health sector?
Yeah, it's still in mental health. So I did change jobs recently. So since January, I'm a nurse assessor working for the NHS. So it's more like reviewing patients' packages of care, assessing if they're still eligible for funding from the NHS. But prior to that, I spent a good while on psychiatric wards.
Yeah.
My last job was on a male unit. It was mental health and learning disability. I spent nearly 5 years on a female ward. That was a forensic ward, so women who have committed some very serious crimes.
Oh, wow.
I spent some time with older adults a little bit, but most of my experience is based on the wards and working with women. Funnily enough, it is known kind of in the mental health industry that working with women is the hardest. It's harder to, like, working with men. Working with men is so much easier, and working with women, like, they're gonna test you completely. Like, it's so draining. I'm sorry to say to all the women out there.
All the different mood swings, all the different seasons.
Literally, it's
the menstrual cycle mixed in with all that mental health. Like,
a lot.
I can only imagine.
It's a lot. But the men, as much as they might play up a little bit, like, they'll still be respectful to you and try and protect you. But the women, no.
The women have got no limits.
No.
The women don't care.
They don't.
They're coming for all the staff. Oh, no. Wow, do you know what? Someone's got to do it, and it's brave of you to take on that job. But
No,
I bet it's just so exciting and seeing all the different things every single day.
It is. And it humbles you as well, because when you kind of spend time with people from all these different backgrounds who have been from different countries, different upbringings, some people have some really hard times, and the way they are, how they are, is because they've had childhood trauma,
Absolutely.
childhood abuse. They've seen things that they weren't supposed to. So that's why they are there. And you just think, God, that could be anybody. Like, it could be you. Like,
yeah, it could.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it could be me. It could be you. And it's a shame, because you know what? We don't realise until we get into our adult life and our adult years how much our childhood affects our adulthood, and how that can potentially map out the life that you lead and you live. And it's so sad, really.
Literally. I think I think a lot of people, they have childhood trauma, but they just deal better with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just down to you and I guess your environment and the way your mind works, and if you're able to kind of deal with that. Some people really struggle with dealing with it, so that's when they kind of turn to other things and their mental
Yeah.
health
And I
just
think when people don't open up and talk about it and they try to hide it and keep it a secret, then, like you said, they turn to other things, alcohol, drugs, they go down that path and sometimes can't pull themselves out of it, and then before you know it, they're in too deep and, they've lost it, basically.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, not all of it is, related to trauma, I guess, because there's a lot of patients out there who have had perfect upbringings and maybe it's genetic or maybe there's no known reason and they've had a psychotic episode and, they come from a really well-to-do area and their parents have got loads of money and they had the perfect upbringing, and it can literally happen to anybody.
To anyone.
So,
And I think sometimes as well, the people that have had like a perfect upbringing, that it's been boring, then probably been exposed to nothing. So once they get into their teen years or their adult years, they wanna experience some wildness and some danger, and
that's
because they've been too sheltered.
That's true. That's very true. I think, I guess it kind of makes you think, like, even as a parent, like, like the balance, like finding the balance. Like, am I going to be too strict or shall I not be strict? I think it also makes you think about being a parent as
Yeah,
a
it's
parent.
hard.
Yeah.
And we bring into parenthood a lot of stuff from how we was parented or our childhood. And then it's trying to change certain errors and, trying to parent different to what you was parented. And you don't know what's right, what's wrong.
Exactly.
So it's hard. Nobody knows, We're all just out here freestyling these parenting things. Don't come with a manual.
Yeah, I think it's true because I think, like you said about our parents, I do believe in like generational trauma as well, because a lot of our parents, especially Black parents, they've seen a lot because their parents were like, maybe they came over from a different country, they experienced a lot of racism,
Yeah, absolutely.
a lot of abuse, poverty, things like that. And they experienced things that made them how they are, and then it kind of gets passed down. So it's just about kind of breaking that
Yeah, breaking the cycle,
that's the
breaking,
word.
as they use it, the quote, the term, those generational
Yeah.
curses.
Yeah.
Trying to do better, really. And I think as long as parents, you're just trying your best and you're conscious of your mistakes and you trying, to correct your wrongs, and then that's all you can do, really. Like, nobody's the perfect parent. And like I said, it doesn't come with a manual. No one will ever be the perfect parent. And if they claim that they are, then I'm sorry, but they're lying, because they're really not. Like, we all make mistakes,
Yeah, it's
But
true. Because even down to, sorry to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
Because even down to like, I'm going on a tangent now about parenting again. Even down to like a lot of probably people our age, like when they were kids, have probably got like beat or they got like a smack or something. Like nowadays, you can't really do them things. Like literally, they go to school. Oh, mommy slapped me. Or mommy hit me. And maybe they did that because that's what my mom did to me when I grew up. And then it's kind of passed down, and then the teacher's looking at your kid like, "What do you mean? Like they're getting abused?"
Yeah.
Like
I think it's important to know, like, I think these days, like, social services and all those kind of services are really hot on everything, but there's a difference between somebody occasionally giving their child the odd smack to actually beating and physically abusing their child, you know what I mean? But you have all these rules and regulations now, which you never used to have back in the day, and it's hard to navigate because even as a parent, like, some parents are worried, like, oh, well, I smacked my child once, like, a social service is going to come knocking at my door now, taking my child away from me. And it's that deep, like, I feel like the system's, so deep these days.
It is. It is. And there's a lot of children that are like in some really unhealthy environments. And it's a shame. It's a shame because everything just kind of gets passed down, and it's just kind of just about, like you said, breaking that cycle, isn't it?
Trying your hardest to, absolutely, because you don't want to you grow up and get into your adult years, and you know, like me now, I'm in my 30s, and you realise certain things from your childhood, and you think, oh, I'll try and change that with my parenting, but sometimes it's actually hard to, because that's embedded in you, and all the things you moan about how your mum used to raise you, you end up being that mum, like exactly the same mum.
Literally, and you're talking and you're like, oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
my
my
mum. Yeah, absolutely, that is
Turning
my
into-
mum. You used to moan about it, and you're trying your hardest not to, and then you just can't help it, and then you'll say something, a phrase, oh my God, like, yeah.
Literally, you don't even realise, but yeah.
You start to gain more of a wider and broader understanding, though, of what your mum went through, because
Exactly, yeah.
obviously in our teen years we think they're just nagging and we're butting heads and we're clashing with them, but then as we have children ourselves, we think, oh, okay, then I get now why she was like this, or acted like this, or sometimes a bit moody, or why she nagged like this, because we're experiencing it ourselves now.
Yeah, 100%. I think as a teenager you're just like, oh, mum don't know nothing, what does mum know?
Yeah.
Do my own thing, and then you grow up and, like you said, you're just like, oh, she was actually just trying to look out for me after all that. Just
absolutely. I used to clash with my mum as a teenager, and it got to a point where I used to stay with my dad and granddad, and then I used to just stay with my mum on the weekends, because our personalities was too alike, we just used to clash. But now, now that I've got daughters, and my oldest, she's nearly 12, and I just see exactly where she was coming from, and you don't realise. And she used to say to me, Mum used to say to me, I hope you have a daughter that gives you attitude the same way that you give it. I hope one day it comes to bite you, and it has. It's here now. Like, no, Mum, I don't want this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything what I put you through. Trust me. Yeah, but it's all a learning curve. It's all fun. Parenting, I think it's stressful at times, but it's all fun and games, and it's all worth it,
Yeah, definitely.
All worth it just to watch your children grow up, and it feels a bit rewarding at times as well, being a parent, especially if you're a single mother. It's hard, but it is rewarding knowing that you're doing it on your own, and you're putting this effort in, and it can be very rewarding as well.
Especially when you've been through your own kind of struggles and battles, and like I said, like myself, like going through depression and stuff. And then you kind of get through it and you do your own little bit of healing, and you go on your own little journey. And then it just makes you more kind of proud of yourself. You're just like,
definitely.
I've been through that and I got through it, and now like I'm here, and you're just like showing up for your kids. And
and that's important, like healing for your children, to be the best possible mum, in the best possible mind frame for them. It's just so important, and anyone that has been through something and had to heal from it and still be a mum, like, I take my hats off to her.
I think it drives you as well, because I think to myself, if I wasn't a parent, would I have tried so hard to be better? Do you ever think that?
Your kids give you that bit of motivation, because you probably would have stayed in that cycle,
exactly,
that vicious cycle, and you might not have tried to heal. You might have just carried on living your life like that, because you've got nobody to heal for. So they actually save us, and they help us as well to become a better version of ourselves.
100%. Like, literally, I don't know where I'd be without, like, I literally, sometimes I think, what would I be doing if I didn't have them? Like, literally. But yeah.
It's that thing where you can't wait for a break. You can't wait to have a night without them. And then if you do, and you've got no plans, and you go home and your house is empty, it's like, well, what to do with myself now? Like,
just bored.
Yeah, you can't, like, if you're not going on a night out, you haven't got anything planned, and you haven't got your children, you go home, your house is all quiet, and it's like, wow, like, I couldn't wait for a little break, but now that they're gone, what do I do with myself now?
I know, literally. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. So, do you think you will stick in the role that you're doing now? Do you think that you got any plans to change? I mean, I see you've got your Instagram, you can advertise your Instagram page on here, Belle Bing. That's all about mental health. That's amazing. You like regularly posting reels and photos and stuff on there.
I'm just trying to get out there.
So is that just, did you just set up the Instagram page, or is that like, have you set it up as a CIC? Or
I want to, like, that is the plan. I don't know why I've been putting it off, but that is the plan. I kind of just want to do more work in the community. I've done a little bit of work in the community, like with teenagers, doing like little group sessions and stuff. But I just really want to kind of, and I'm in the middle of like creating my own mental health and wellbeing course, which is taking a bit of a while, but I'm enjoying doing it. Just to kind of spread education and awareness, whether it's schools, workplaces, community settings, charities, whatever. Just kind of just bringing that education and awareness, but in a very kind of laid back, down to earth environment.
Way. That's not.
I don't want to stand in front of you with a presentation and worksheets and all that. Like, let's get together and have like healthy conversations. Do you know what I mean?
They need to be had, and I think that these podcasts are a way of people having healthy conversations about topics that need to be discussed. But like you said, you don't want to just come like a uni teacher and sit down and give people a lecture on mental health, and it needs to be informal for people to take it in. They need to be able to have a bit of fun with it and feel like it's not too structured.
Yeah, because it's a sensitive topic, and sometimes people aren't really interested. They think, oh, mental health, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's talk about mental health.
And not everyone understands it, and that's what I said last time as well about the domestic violence. But domestic violence and mental health, not everybody understands it, and not everyone's going to get it. And I feel like, especially if they haven't personally experienced it themselves in their lives, then they're not going to understand it and get it. But unless you've, gone through it, or somebody else that's going through or gone through it, then sometimes it is hard for people to relate to. But it definitely needs, more. I feel like it needs more more awareness, really, to be honest, because it's everyone feels depressed at times, everyone feels low at times, everyone feels stressed at times. There's not one person that has never felt like that one day in their life.
Exactly.
But people are just too scared to speak up, open up about it, and just to say how they're feeling. But the more we have these conversations, the more other people will feel comfortable talking about that.
Yeah, I think some people are probably scared to say how they're feeling, even whether it's like fear of being misunderstood, or whether because a lot of people will just respond with, oh, you'll be fine, you'll get over it, you'll get through it, or, just, stay positive, keep your head up, all these cliche kind of statements. But
and actually, someone that's deep in mental health, really suffering with their mental health, like those little things that they're saying will not make a difference. And people don't understand it. Like, you've got people that are that depressed that they physically can't get out of the bed.
Literally.
Like, they physically can't get out of the bed. It's just about, get out of the bed to go to use the toilet. So then you've got people saying, oh, it's all right, just think positive, shake it off. And they don't understand that actually that person, can't function, they can't get out of bed. Everything's life is too much for them in that moment. Like, absolutely everything is overwhelming, and they just can't physically do it.
I mean, it wasn't till I look back onto when I was depressed, when I used to just kind of, literally, if I wasn't doing anything, if I didn't have anything to do, I'd just be sleeping.
Yeah.
That's all I would do. I was like, if I sleep, I can get through the day quicker. And then you wake up and then it's the evening, do what you don't do, and you go to bed again. And I didn't realise until I look back and I'm like, that was like my way of escaping, basically.
Yeah, through sleep.
Yeah, just do the school run, come home, sleep, and then just do the cycle all over again, because I was just kind of avoiding everything.
Yeah.
Whereas now, obviously, I'm in a better place. Like, I ain't got time for a nap. Because there's so many things that I want to do, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, or let me go to the gym, or let me go for a walk, or let me go and see my friend. And now I think, God, it was just, what was I doing?
Yeah, you realise how, like, in comparison, how different your life is to how it was then. But that's how, if that's, how you got through your depression by sleeping, trying to sleep it off, then I know you said you did sometimes turn to alcohol and stuff, but at least it wasn't as bad as, like, sleeping the day away. It's not as damaging as, going out and taking millions of drugs and getting completely off your face.
True.
And everyone deals with it in different ways, don't they? But the fact that you've overcome that and you're here now and you're doing everything what you're doing, and you're so proactive and active every day and keeping busy, like, that's amazing. Like, and you're so brave to, like I said, even come on camera and talk about that. So That's really amazing. Like, honestly, you should be proud of yourself because it is hard to get out of that depressive cycle. Especially, you know, like I said, when you're a mum as well, you don't really, you got to think for yourself and you've got to think for others as well. So it's not even just you, you've got to focus on. So it can be really hard, but I feel like that's sometimes what we do as well. Like, there's different people that deal with it in different ways, but some people are depressed, but their lives are busy. Like, they're still functioning. Like, every day they're still doing this, doing that. They're so busy. They're still going to work. So you might think that those kind of people don't suffer with depression, but actually you can get a person that's depressed and they're not in bed. They're still out every day, active, you know, keep going. But behind all of that, like, deep down, they're depressed and struggling.
Exactly. There is such thing as a highly functioning depressed person. It's almost as if they're kind of trying to keep busy to hide from what they're really feeling. It's just to kind of keep busy to shy away from how they're actually feeling. So sometimes you won't even know.
Yeah.
Like, literally, when I was depressed, I'd turn up to work all smiles, happy, laughing, joking. But then when I get home, it's a completely different situation.
Yeah, it's like you're wearing a mask, and then when you get home, the way that you keep busy and keep functioning and keep going is your way of like dealing with it in a way. But then when you get home and you close the door and it's like, you know, like, and you're back to reality, and then you got to sit alone at home with your thoughts and think about what's really going on in your life or in your mind. But when you go out into the world, you can just put on that mask and be all cheery and you know.
There's even times when there was almost like going to work I look forward to going to work because it was something to do and something to take my mind off things, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll be at work and I'll be like, oh, I don't want to go home.
Yeah. Just to sit alone a lot in your own thoughts. And I think the best way for people that are dealing with depression to deal with it is to stay busy, stay around people, stay active, also obviously exercise. They say that's, you know, a big part of helping movement, 100%. You know, even go for a walk, even if you're not going to do like, you know, a 1 hour long sweaty gym session, lifting weights, but just go for a little short walk around the block
definitely
can help you a little bit. And it's easier said than done because, like I said, there are some people that physically can't get out of bed that day, but once you start to make those little changes and do those little things, then you gradually do more each day and it sort of helps you really.
Yeah, it does. Even literally the little things, like even if I go for a walk, like literally after I go for a walk, I feel absolutely amazing. I'm like, yeah, I went for a walk. Like, you just feel great after doing just like a little bit of movement.
It does. It makes you feel good. Just to get out there in the fresh air, in nature, all of that, it lifts your mood. And I think, especially when you drive, because we're so busy and we're so used to just being lazy and jumping in our car and like to go to the corner shop instead of walking. And when you do actually find time to go for a walk, it does lift up your mood. It does.
I know some people think, oh, go for a walk. I want to go for a walk. No, but literally go for a walk. Like, enjoy the fresh air, the sun if it's out. If it's not, enjoy the wind, the trees. Like, literally just go for a walk and just walk with your thoughts. Like, it's so therapeutic.
Yeah, just even with headphones and music on, just walk it off, listen to your music. Like, you'll feel 10 times better afterwards, even if you only do 20 minutes. Like,
and it's funny how many people don't even go for a walk.
No, it's...
like, going for a walk is not what people really do. Like, unless they've got a dog and they're taking the dog for a walk. I don't really know that many people who'd be like, oh yeah, go for a walk.
Yeah, but it's this generation that we're in. Like, we don't really appreciate things like that. Like, I feel like people appreciate, you know, going clubbing, having fun, all of that, drinking, but people don't appreciate the small things, and that's what I loved about lockdown. Going for that daily walk, everything. True. You couldn't go nowhere, and at those times, I was living over by Stratford-upon-Avon, so I was living near the countryside, so it was all beautiful. Nice. So even though I was in lockdown and I just had a baby, I used to put him in his pushchair, go walking around there, you know, scenic areas. And I loved the fact that everything slowed down. We went for the little daily walk, you know, the clubs was closed, and it just showed you, you know, what other things are important in life other than what this generation appreciates, because they don't appreciate the little things like that, going for a walk around the park. Or...
Literally. And then you get home and you feel good. You're like, oh yeah, I went for a walk today.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes people can get stuck in a rut, and like you said, not going out for a walk, doing all the wrong things, doing all things that are damaging. Like, we all do it, we all drink and stuff, but there's a lot of people that just do drugs, drink, you know, they don't care about exercise, walking, and then they wonder why they're stuck in a rut or depressed or...
I think social media is a big thing as well. I mean, as much as many people will deny it, like, it does affect your mental health. I think so many people spend so much time, maybe they don't even realise they're spending so much time scrolling through social media.
Yeah, scrolling their life away.
Yeah, following all these celebrities, looking at what they're wearing, living their best life, putting on whatever they're putting on, and all they're doing is comparing themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want that. I want to do this. Why can't I? Da, da, da. And then they just get stuck in this rut. They're like, oh, I want to look like that girl. Let me go and get these implants, this implant. Let me do this. Let me buy this colour wig. Let me go and get these. You know what I mean? It's just putting too much pressure on yourself, trying to compare yourself to these people. Why are you comparing yourself? Like,
absolutely.
Literally.
And it's that saying that people only post that, it's that quote, highlight reels, you know, you see it. People only post their highlight reels, and it's true, because then you look at those, they're posting their good moments, they're not showing, you know, their bad moments, they're posting all their good highlight reels and their best times and them looking their best, you know, glammed up to the nines. They're not posting the other side. So then you go on there, you look at that, and then if you're not looking like that day or whatever, you is very, you have to be a very strong-minded person to not compare yourselves. And then let's face it, like, we're living in Birmingham. We're not living in America. We're not Americans. We're not Cardi B. We're not Beyonce. We're not Kim Kardashian. Our lives are different. Like, we haven't got that money. We haven't got them chefs to cook us this good food every day. We haven't got that nanny to watch our children. We haven't got that personal trainer. We haven't got that money to go to the Dominican Republic and get these BBLs and all of that. Like, you know. So we're comparing ourselves to people that are living in a completely different world to us.
Literally. It's crazy. It's just like the only person you should be in competition with is yourself. Literally. There's no point comparing yourself. Because why are you comparing yourself, to get a better man or a better woman? When half the time, men just want a natural girl anyway.
And I feel like you have to learn how to show up for yourself. Like, the things what you want to change about yourself should be for you. Not for a man. Like you said, not for a woman. It's easier said than done, but showing up for yourself and wanting to change actually for you, not so you can get a partner.
Yeah.
That's when that's when you be your true authentic self. And 100%. It is so hard, and people don't want to be vulnerable or show their true authentic self in this generation. And that's why I wanted to try and start this podcast, try and show that a bit. Try and show that it is okay to share that. Like, you know, like I haven't shared fully my history, like my journey with domestic violence and stuff, but showing that so other people that have experienced it, and not just going on Instagram, seeing these celebrities and this, you know, lavish lifestyle, and thinking that if they're going through that's the only thing that they should be looking to, you know, prosper to. But actually, it's okay for people to share what they're really going through and their real struggles in life, and to, you know, be able to be vulnerable and open up and talk about things that, you know, anything that they feel they want to get off their chest, because we don't do that as, like, our age group, we don't do that at all. We just try and have the laughs and the jokes and going to the clubs, and we don't really, you know, show our vulnerable side or to have deep, meaningful conversations. So
I feel like I would feel more comfortable probably opening up to you than I would with someone that's close. You would
to go to your mum's house and sit down and say, "Oh, Mum, this is how I'm feeling today."
But I wonder why that is, though.
I feel like it depends what type of parents you have as well. But I also think you have to have a certain personality type, and I feel like ours are probably very similar. So this is the first time I've met you in person, whereas people probably watch this and think, oh, like, we know each other. Like, we've just spoke on Instagram DM, but I feel like you've got that personality and I've got that personality where I can talk to people via DM. I'm very open. Like, I'll show my personality to people. And even though this is a podcast and I was asking you to be a guest on the show, I didn't just make it all business-like. Like, I actually spoke to you like you was my friend, you know, and was like, "Hey, girl," you know, all of this, like. But I feel like you have to be like that. Like, you have to, you know, to.
It's good to be yourself.
Show who you really are, and to show your personality, and to connect. Like, you can't just. And some people are scared to do that, and I think people, because as a generation we find it hard to trust people. There's a lot of people that don't. They won't talk to strangers, or, you know, it's not that whole no new friends thing, but I feel like that's toxic as well, because sometimes you need to, you know, how are you going to network and connect with people and build a brand or business if you, do you know what I mean?
A lot of people don't understand that, though.
You're being too structured and too business minded.
You know, into talking to this person, you know, too many people. Yeah, but that's what it's about. Like, we're all living on this planet together. Like, get to know people, socialise, communicate. because sometimes it's the people that aren't close to you that will literally make you successful and support you. Do you know what I mean? Like, even though like I've started like my new Instagram, probably got like 100 and something followers, but it's the people that I don't know
that support you the most.
Yeah,
I've said this,
like
just
I
starting
love
out
your
this
content.
yeah,
I love this.
absolutely.
And then it's like the people that are close to me, like family and friends,
They
nowhere to be seen.
They won't, like, I've said this a million times and I've seen it. Like, you always see quotes and memes on Instagram about it and reels and whatever.
Yeah.
And now that I've started myself, I've said it, it's the people that you don't know that will support you more than your own friends and family.
It's mad.
And it is true, like, you do get, like, your friends and your family and your people that are closest to you, sometimes they can be secret haters or jealous. And I don't want to say that as if, like, I've got anything to hate on, because, you know, like, I'm just out here trying. I'm not successful. I'm not a Kardashian. I haven't got millions of money. I'm not driving this big nice car. But people will see you doing something, and it's so weird. It's like your own friends and family won't even share what you're doing or like or comment. But then you've got all these strangers like, oh my God, that's amazing what you're doing. That's so good. Like, we need more people like you. Like, someone DM'd me the other day, a girl, saying she watched the podcast and I'm an inspiration to her because I'm a woman that's been through domestic violence. We need to talk about it. She's been through the same. She's like, oh, I just wanted to say you're an inspiration to me. And I was like, oh my God, like, I got all emotional. But yeah, your own friends and family won't even share your posts. Or
it's mad. And it's hard to kind of not let... Part of you is bothered, but the other part is like, nah, I'm not bothered. But I think deep down it does kind of bother you a bit, because it's just the disappointment sometimes. You just think, oh, really? I really thought you would... Even though I know people say, oh, but it's social media. But at the end of the day, if there was no social media, maybe we'd be, and it was like 1920, and maybe we'd be putting posters on the wall or something. I don't even know. But support is support, and that is 2023. That's how you support each other. You like what they're doing, you share it, you spread it around, you make more people aware of what your friend or family's doing. Like, that's what I like to do, that for people.
I feel like, especially when you're a person that does that and you're an empath and you've got a good heart and you'll put yourself out for others, you'll put anyone on, you'll share as much as you can, try and big people up, comment, like, and then you take it even more personal when people like, sometimes they might have genuinely not even seen your post, but because you are that kind of person that would always promote their thing and whatever, like, you take it more personal that they haven't shared it, and, you know, you just feel like more disheartened, because, you know, in your heart, you would, anyone of your friends,
do the same.
Like, I've got a friend, she started a beauty business, and I was going to her for my lashes, like, when I can't have them at the moment because my hay fever, so today I've just got strip lashes on. But when I was getting my individual eyelashes, I was going to her, and I could have went to someone that's been doing it for years, that's, you know, a pro at it, but I thought she's just started, you know, and I went religiously, went to her, I supported her. So I'd like to think that, you know, me starting my things now, and, you know, there's people out here that are doing bigger and better and been doing it, you know, for years, got way more experience than me, but I'd like to think that my people would come to me because I've just started and they want to support me. They want to show me that support, but unfortunately, it is what it is, isn't it?
Exactly. I think sometimes you have to realise that not everybody is you. I think it's a hard thing to accept. I mean, just in any kind of circumstance, even just like relationships, friendships, it's hard to kind of accept that not everyone is you. Not everyone is going to show you the love that you give. Not everyone's going to understand how you understand. Not everyone's going to show love how you do.
And then it's knowing when to put boundaries in place, and that's it. Even a hard thing, like, what do I do? Like, do I stop talking to them as much? Like, how do I put those boundaries in place? But then you put boundaries in place, and then people think that you think you're too nice, or you're trying to act funny. Like, and it's like it's learning the balance, but I think it's important that when you're a person that always puts yourself out for others, you've got to start at some point in your life, you've got to start putting boundaries in place, and, you know, you've got to try and be a little bit more selfish and put yourself first.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard, especially when you're like a giving person. It's hard to say no sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, you can put a few boundaries in, but it's hard to be like, sometimes you might want to message them, say, hey, how you doing? How's everything? And you're just like, it's hard.
And you know, when you're the person that's always reaching out as well, always messaging first, so then you stop doing that. And like you said, some days you might just be sitting in your house doing nothing, and you think, oh, I'll just pop that person off. And But
and then
then
you're just like,
it's
no.
like, well, hold on. If I don't pop them up now, are we going to speak?
Exactly.
So I need to just see whether they reach out to me, whether they actually think about me the way that I think about them when, when I'm sitting at home and I think, this person's on my mind, do they even think about me when they're not doing anything? So,
exactly. That's the thing.
Oh, we're just navigating through life one day at a time, one step at a time, just winging this, just trying our best out here. But yeah, no, I think as long as you're doing something, trying to do something positive within your life, which you are, with your, like I said, your Instagram page, you're trying to, promote mental health, help people,
and you as well.
And as long as you're trying, and we're out here, both of us in this together, and lots of other people. As long as you're trying to do something positive with your life, then you're on the right path.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. I feel like as long as you're doing something positive, I feel like you've got nothing to worry about. Well, not nothing to worry about, but you know what I mean? Like,
we all have our worries, but I think how you're dealing with life, like you said, if you're just trying to, get drunk every day and do drugs and all of that, and you're not trying to do anything productive with your life and nothing positive at all, then, you're on the wrong path. But if you're trying to, stay positive through your struggles, and you still have your worries, they're still going to be there, but you're trying your hardest to get up every day and keep going and be positive, then you're definitely on the right path.
100%. Yeah. It's important to kind of put like you said, boundaries in place with people, but it's easier said than done, especially when you have attachments to people for years.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't realise that they're having like an impact on your mental health.
Yeah.
And
or even just the fact of, sorry to cut you off there, but even just the fact of being a person that puts yourself out so much and doesn't say no, that can take a toll on your mental health. It can be draining. And then when you're in your time of need, no one's there for you.
Yeah, it's true.
It can be draining because sometimes you want to say no, but you're so used to saying yes that you just physically can't. So someone asks you to do something, you just be like, yes, straight away. And then it's like, well, hold on a second. Like, would they do this for me? But then you think, oh, but it shouldn't be, tit for tat. But
and then you feel bad, and then you're just like, oh, it's hard. I think boundaries is so hard, especially when you're just genuinely a good person. It's hard.
It is. It's one of the hardest things to do. And when you've lived your life, like I says, being there and putting yourself out for other people, it's so hard to change that. But yeah,
and I feel like, but the moment you do say no, it's so empowering. Like, you're just like, okay, I did that. Do you know what I mean? When you actually stand up for yourself a little bit, you're just like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's enough. Like, no.
Yeah, I showed up for me today. And
did you?
I feel like I really did because... No, I feel like I did because I did say no to someone today. Yeah. And it's funny that you've even mentioned that on this podcast episode tonight, but I don't normally... I do sometimes, but I find it really hard to, like you says. But I did show up for myself today, and I did say no to somebody that asked me to do them a favour today. Yeah. And I was proud after, and I did feel empowered because I normally always say yes. Yeah. But that person wouldn't necessarily
have done it for you.
Do a favour for me. And it's that whole saying what they say, like pouring into cups that are pouring into yours, and not, pouring into cups that aren't pouring into yours. But yeah, it's a hard thing to do. And people know when you're the kind, good-hearted person that they can come to you and say, oh, can you do me this favour today? They know that you're the one that can text and you'll always say yes. But
100%.
when you actually say no, it does feel so empowering.
It does.
Feel like, wow, actually, no, like, I'm going to choose myself today. I'm not going to put myself out for you. And it feels great. It feels amazing.
It does. It's hard, but it's good. It's good to do. It's good to do. Because you can't just leave yourself feeling drained. Like, literally, people will drain you with their energy. Even just like, maybe you go and see a friend or a family member, or you're around them, and there's someone who just complains all the time, or they've always got some drama going on in their life.
And then you walk away just feeling absolutely drained.
Yeah,
it's just like, straight toxic people. Like, honestly, those kind of people, every day there's some kind of drama going on in their lives. Like, as soon as you pick up the phone, so, oh, I've had dramas today. Like, oh, you go and meet them. Oh, I've already had dramas today. Oh, I've had a drama this month. Like,
and then you have to think, why have you got so much drama in your life,
they
please?
Are toxic people, negative people,
and they'll act like the victim.
They don't even realise They really don't even realise that they're like that. They think it's everybody else around them's fault. It's the whole world's fault. The whole world's out to get them.
Yeah.
They've done nothing wrong. Oh, it's just another bad thing that's happened to them again. And it's like, when are you going to grow up and wake up and realise, especially when you're at a big age, like...
Exactly.
You've got to take accountability, and if there's something that's some sort of drama that is happening to you every single day in your adult life, then you've got to at some point realise you are the problem. Like, you really are. Like, we've all been young and been toxic and had a bad attitude and all of that, but if you're still continuing the rest of your life and you're a big age now and you're going through that, then you've really got to realise that, well, actually, I might be the problem, and look within and work on your own attitude, your own self, you know.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't get to that stage.
No.
A lot of people don't, and they'll just continue to have the drama. But a lot of people are so unwilling to look in the mirror and look at themselves. I think that's part of the issue. Yeah. I think sometimes you need to accept yourself and look in the mirror, as I say, accept that you are doing something wrong. And a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
It's like I can say, oh, I was depressed because of this and because of that and da-da-da-da. But sometimes you have to take a bit of responsibility and say, you know, I should have been a bit stronger, and why didn't I think about this and think about that? Or, you know, depression isn't nice, or other mental health conditions aren't nice, but something like depression or anxiety, you know, sometimes you have to kind of look at yourself and adjust your thoughts, because it's not always everybody else.
Yeah, just your way of life and what you're doing on your day-to-day to what can you do in your day-to-day life to make you feel more positive?
Exactly.
How can you, like, you might not be able to change the external factors around you of why you're feeling depressed, but how can you change what you're doing each day to deal with that? So it is a hard pill to swallow, and it's really hard, and it is hard to change your life. It's hard to take accountability. It's hard to become a more positive person, but once you start doing it, it's so worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
That is what leads you on the right path, but I feel like you do sometimes have to cut people off or distance yourself from people and not be around people so much, and really just focus and work on yourself. And it is hard. It is lonely, and it is, you know, a long road, but it is worth it in the
100%.
end. In the end, you know, the results that come out of it are definitely worth it.
Yeah, 100%. Can I ask you something?
You can.
Why are you going to ask me? I'm scared now. No, don't be scared. No, I was just going to ask how, like, domestic violence impacted on your mental health, do you think?
Oh, so it still does. Over the years, it's been rough, I'm not going to lie. Like, and there has been times where people don't know this, like, even my friends don't know this, but there has been days where I couldn't even get out of the bed.
Yeah.
And it has been hard, but I'm here now. I think what I'm doing, you know, starting my own CIC to work with, you know, domestic violence victims and families, that's a driving force for me to keep me going. And it can even be triggering sometimes doing that, because obviously people are reaching out to you and you're hearing their stories, or you're in that line of work, and it can bring up old things what you still haven't healed from. But I think as a whole, it really did affect my mental health. I probably didn't show it, like you says, because once you leave your house and you see people, you just put on that mask and you're like, hey, like, sometimes being the loudest person in the room is how you deal with depression or what you're going through, because, you know, I'm not like that anymore, but I used to go places and feel like I had to be the loudest person in the room to mask what I was going through. So I'd be like, hey girl, how are you? Like, all chirpy and that, and everyone used to be, but she's got a great life. She's so happy every day, but deep down you're really, really depressed.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, the domestic violence really did impact me. Yeah, some days was rough, man. Like, some days I wanted to give up, but I just kept going and kept going. I even remember a day where I just thought, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to drive my car into a tree, into a wall. Like,
no, I hear you.
That, like, I've never spoke about this to anybody, but that is how I felt. Like, I just,
I
it's
totally
hard,
get it.
and people won't understand, and I think men won't understand how they actually. I think a lot of men, if they realise that they actually affected you in that way, then maybe they wouldn't even do what they're doing. But they don't realise, and people don't realise how domestic violence can really take a toll on your mental health and your whole life.
100%. I mean, it's just, it's not nice when you're kind of in that headspace. It's only when you look back though, because when you're in it just feels so normal in a way. Like, yeah, I'm just sad and I'm low and I don't want to be here. And then you look back and you're just like, you feel sorry for that part of yourself. You're just like, I wish I was there for that part of me.
Yeah.
You just want to like go back and give them some advice, like, girl, what you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you got this. Like, you're fine.
There's more to life, and you know, you can get over this. You can stay positive, bounce back. You can do this. You can do that. Just get out there and focus on yourself and make yourself feel better.
But then if you think, like, if I didn't go through that, would I be where I am today?
I wouldn't. 1,000,000%.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I feel like people who, sorry to cut you off, people who like want to do like great things or help others, like they've come from a place where they needed somebody like themselves.
They've all got a story.
Yeah.
Anyone that is in the line of work helping people now, a lot of people have got a story of what they've been through that's made them want to help people.
Yeah, exactly.
Not everyone. Like, you do get like your youth workers and all of that are just doing it because they want to do that job, and they've just been to uni and got youth work qualifications or social work qualifications. And they've just done it because that's what they wanted to do from school. But you do get people that are doing great things.
Yeah.
That it's only because of their life experience and what they've been through. Like, if I didn't go through that, I was working in a doctor's surgery for 6 years as a GP receptionist.
Yeah.
And then I left that job behind. Like, you know, I went through the domestic violence, went into the refuge and all of that. But if I didn't go what I went through,
Exactly.
Do you know what the thing is? The maddest thing is, when I look back now, I was in the environment. I was in the right place. I was working in a surgery around doctors and stuff. I was in the right place to open up and talk to people.
Yeah.
But I used to go to work, like, even if any of them see this now, like my colleagues that I was working with, I used to go there and, like, nobody knew.
Exactly.
And then one day I just handed in my notice, walked out my job and left work. And they probably thought, well, and I was just like, yeah, you know, I'm going to start another job, which I did. But I was going through domestic violence, and I think at the time, the patients being abusive towards me, and then having that abuse at home as well, it was coming from all angles, because
it's a lot.
Anybody knows, like, GP receptionists, even now I don't do it no more, but I'm like, why can't I get an appointment? Like, it's you just, but you get the abuse, man. And I was working at Bosworth Medical Centre in Chelsea Wood, so you had all these people that there was a lot of druggies as well, that wanted their methadone if they couldn't get it. Like, I got threats sometimes. Like, we used to get threats.
I can imagine.
Like, we'll wait outside for you after your shift and all of this. Like,
what?
People on the phone, like, why can't I get an appointment? And then it's that thing where, you know, where receptionists have to ask people what the problem is. And everyone's like, well, you're not a doctor. I'm not telling you. Why do you want to know? You're just a receptionist. But we had to ask it because you have to prioritise the calls. So obviously you need to know a brief description of the problem.
Yeah.
Because if it's someone that's obviously suffering with heart problems, you need to put them at the top of the list than someone that's just got a cold. But yeah, we used to get so much abuse, and I think having the abuse at home, then going to work and having the abuse of that job, it was too much. So I just handed in my notice and then left one day. But I feel like if I never went through the domestic violence, I'd probably still be in that surgery now. How many years deep? Just as a medical receptionist, working in that job on reception.
Exactly.
And I would have kept the same job and just never changed. So going through what I've gone through has obviously led me to this path that I'm on now.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, it does. It can either make you or break you.
Yeah.
You can either use what you've been through as a driving force to do something and turn that pain into purpose, as they say, and, you know, get something good out of your pain. Or you can let it break you down and ruin the rest of your life, or you can blame that as a reason to why you are the way you are for the rest of your life.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like when you said, like, pain into purpose, I think it's very important. So for anyone who, like, probably feels low or feels a bit lost or, like, depressed, like, try and refocus that energy and just, you know, think about what you want to do and just fuel it for your future, kind of thing, because you can make a difference. Like, you can make a change.
Yeah.
And then you just realise, like, there's so many other people out there that are just like you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you're not alone.
It leads you on a path, like me doing this now, like even meeting you, you know, meeting so many other people. It leads you on a path to meet like so many amazing people, and you're like, you start networking, and you're like, you know, like these are my people more than my people what I've had all my life, because I can relate to them. They've been through the same as me, like
literally.
Someone that hasn't been through the same traumas as you, or you know, had the same kind of experiences as you, can't relate to you as much as somebody that has.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you do start meeting new people, and it is good. But you have to put yourself out there, because when I first went through it, and I was hiding, locking myself away, I wasn't talking to nobody about it, and that's why I want to show that it's okay, because then you can get out, you can talk to people, you can meet people, and you can make powerful connections. But if you're just at home lying in bed depressed because you've been through domestic violence, and you're not telling anyone what you've been through because you're too ashamed or embarrassed to talk about it, and you hide it from everyone, you're never going to get to that point where it can be something that changes your life for the better, because nobody even knows you're going through it.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I was going through it, that's how it was.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, it's just, I don't know, like you said, kind of being around other people that you can relate to. I mean, even in like mental health, like you'll find, I mean, I say, even like other mental health nurses would say, like mental health nurses, like they're crazy. Like they're all a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you have to be a bit, okay, I probably shouldn't say crazy, but you have to be a little bit unhinged to work in mental health.
Because you have to deal with so much stuff every day.
Yeah.
So many different personalities, so many people having their manic episodes and all of that. So you've got to be a certain type of way to be able to handle that, to navigate that job, you know, so you've got to, and if you've got your own history of depression or whatever, then you can relate to them a bit more. If you're just a person that's had a perfect life and you go to be a mental health nurse,
No,
and you work onto the ward, you know,
you don't last 2 minutes.
Exactly. And you're also going to think, what the fuck is this? Like, sorry for swearing on camera, but, you know, if you're someone that's been there and been through things and that, you can, like,
no, it's 100%. Like, even, like, from my experience, when you see, like, nurses come on and maybe you can kind of tell, like, certain people who haven't maybe experienced certain things in their life, not judging anyone, because that's completely great, that's fine. But they don't last on the wards, because the patients can't relate to you. You can't relate to them. There's not going to be no connection. If you've maybe experienced or seen or, I don't know, gone through certain troubles in your life, or you are going through that, you're able to relate to your patients and they appreciate it. Like, you can sit down with them and you can just have just like a normal chat, you know, like, Dave, what you doing, man? Like, you're messing about. What you doing? You need to do this. You need to do that. Like, let's go order a takeaway together. Like, we're not supposed to, but let's order a cheeky Dixie's and sit in your room and have some chicken. Do you know, like, things like that? Like, other nurses who probably aren't more down to earth, they'll probably just be like, okay, do you want some medication? Do you want to talk about it? Really, they just need somebody very normal to just have a chat and understand what they're talking about. Yeah, because they're human just like us, you know. And like you said, a lot of them, they've been through their childhood traumas and their things that's made them the way they are. But before that, there's just a normal person like you and I that's been through some stuff that they shouldn't have had to experience in their life. And then you get nurses, social workers, all of that. There's some of them, go by the book. Exactly. Every rule to a T, and they go in, very strict and try and be all proper and, very formal. And you can't relate to those kinds of people. You can't. I mean, social work I'm going on a tangent here, but social work must be so hard, though. I feel like social workers who have to, like, go into people's homes and put kids into care.
Like, you've got to have thick skin. You've got to have a tough skin to do that.
I couldn't imagine. It's one of my biggest fears. I've even had nightmares about it. Is somebody coming and taking my kids away. Yeah. Like, I couldn't imagine how if there's anyone who's been through that, like, honestly, I don't know how. I don't know how I would cope with that situation. Yeah. Even if I've probably done something wrong myself. The thing is, as a mother, even if you are, like, going through mental health situations or whatever, deep down, whatever your behaviours might present as, deep down, you don't want your kids taken away. And I think as a mother, like, having birthed your kids, gone through the 9 months, like, deep down, that love and that connection is always there. And I feel for any parent who's ever had to go through having their kids taken away. Like, it's so sad.
No,
But yeah,
honestly, even just talking about it, I just had to take a deep breath then, because especially like in domestic violence and abusive relationships, you get women that get their children removed all because they fell in love with the wrong man and stayed with him and kept getting back with him, back into that relationship.
exactly.
You know, they found it really hard to deal with being in that abusive, violent relationship and breaking away from him. But then on top of that, social services come in and remove their children.
I couldn't imagine.
If there was mothers that was, you know, not feeding their children, beating their children, abusing them, starving them, then fair enough. But there are some that have actually just chose the wrong partner and stayed in the wrong relationship for too long and not been able to get away themselves, or had that man as the father of their children. So let the father continue seeing the children when social services says don't because he's abusive to you. But they've done that, you know, because they want that child to have their father in their lives. And then that social services have come and removed the children out of the care.
Literally, it's my biggest, I can't imagine somebody coming into my house and taking my children away. I think that's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, like, what do you mean? I don't know. I couldn't. Yeah. It must be the hardest thing to go through.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. It wouldn't be an easy job to do. I don't think I'd sleep at night if I was a social worker. No. I think I'd go home and I wouldn't be able to switch off from my cases, and I'd just constantly be overthinking everything.
It's funny because I seen a patient the other day, and she has dementia and everything, and she used to be like a really like top social worker. But the thing is, she talks so well, but she's completely like delusional. And she talks about all these like random things like seeing blood and being surveillance for the police. And even though probably what she's saying is not specifically true, it just like a lot of things you were saying, just thinking, gosh, you must have seen a lot of traumatic things in your time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just also made me think a lot about like dementia, how like common it is. I know I did make a post about it recently, but like dementia is so common, and a lot of the things that we go through when we're younger, it really does carry on to when we're old. And if we do get dementia and we start getting a bit forgetful and, you know, we're not communicating how we should, like a lot of these things will show up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, look, if I ever get dementia, I dread to think what kind of patient I'd be, because I'll be talking about all my traumas throughout my life and what I've been through, and they will definitely be showing up in my senior years. So whoever has to look after me and listen to my story, just giving you the heads up now. I feel sorry for you. Because you're gonna hear a whole, you know, I don't even know what to say, but you're gonna hear a whole deep life story. I'm gonna be giving you little dribs and drabs and what the bits that I can make sense of it. You know, like yeah, you're gonna hear some stuff, man. Some of my life traumas.
Oh, I think I'm going to be one of them old women in the home that are just going to be causing trouble just for the fun of it. Part of me I look at like old women who were like in the homes and stuff, and you know, they're causing trouble, they're going on bad, and you just think, you know what, why not? You're in your 90s, you've lost the plot, you're in a home. Do you know, you might as well live your best life. Make it a little bit
fun, you know. You ain't got long left. You might as well make it a bit fun.
You're not changing me.
Play up a little bit, you know. Give them hell, because you've done your due diligence all your life. Yeah, you've served your role on this earth, on this planet. So let's make this last little bit a bit of fun and just play up and, you know, give people a little bit of hell.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's important to try and have a light side to you as well, not just a deep side. It is, we do need these deep, meaningful conversations, but it's important to also have a bit of fun, let your hair down, not take life too serious.
Yeah, 100%. I'd love to have like a debate show. I feel like we need like you remember what was that BBC show called? Was it The Big Question or Question Time or something?
Yeah.
But they'd have like the people in the audience and then like a panel. I feel like we need like a more cultured version of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Where we get together, like maybe like 20, 30 people, we get together and just like talk, like pass the mic and just talk openly about things.
Every week, different topic, people's different opinions, because there's not one person on this planet that has the same. Everyone's got different personalities, thinks different. Yeah,
and a lot of
hashing it out in
people,
a healthy way.
yeah, and a lot of people don't really get the chance to communicate. I mean, as much as I probably do my job and stuff, I'm probably talking to people on the phone and on Microsoft Teams or whatever, and I've got my kids at home. Like, I don't really get out and have proper conversations that much. When you
Yeah.
think about it, when you go in your day to day, you go and work, coming home, kids, bed, doing your social
Yeah,
media,
proper
and then you
adult
think, like,
conversation.
when do I actually have the time for a proper, meaningful adult conversation? It's
Yeah.
actually not that often when you actually deep it.
Yeah, it's either a work conversation or
Yeah.
a kids conversation.
Yeah.
You don't,
Yeah. So I think
No.
it's needed. Like, more people need to talk and see other people's opinions and be more open-minded, and yeah, it's healthy.
It's good. It is good, but there's not. Some people are really shy, even
Mm.
to come on podcasts. You know, you
Yeah.
get people that are really camera shy and nervous. And we all get like it, but some people literally won't do it. But I think the more they see other people doing it,
Yeah.
the more we keep doing this, the more it shows. Okay, it's okay to talk.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. You don't have to be in front of a camera on a podcast, but
Yeah.
it's okay talking about, you know, how you feel about mental health, about, you know, different topics. It's all right to say your opinion. Not everyone's going to agree. It's okay to agree to disagree. But it's all right to have, you know, meaningful, deep, healthy conversations about things that a lot of people don't want to discuss.
Yeah. I think it's just finding the right people. I mean, a lot of people probably have the right people around them to probably have those conversations. So just kind of connecting with the right people, going to the right places. You know, you don't always have to go to the club with your friends. Like, pick a different environment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not really.
Do something
You're
different.
not like. Obviously, you get people in the club that are down for having deep and meaningful conversations, but you can't have that whilst you're in the club, can you? You know,
sat
so
outside in the smoking area.
you've got to go to the right places to do it. Like, you can maybe meet someone at the club that you end up having deep, meaningful conversations with. And, you know, we all love a bit of clubbing. You know, I love to partake in a bit of clubbing here and there. But, you know, like, I love it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I love a good old turn up here and there.
Yes.
But you have to, you have to be a certain type of person, have a certain type of personality to be willing to sit down with strangers or people you've never met and just have these conversations. And it's all about learning how to be confident, learning how to talk, learning how to share your opinion. It's hard, but it's good, and it makes you feel so much better afterwards.
Yeah. And like we said, I mean, it's usually a stranger that you're going to have those conversations with. Sometimes it's outside of your friends and family circle that you find some really amazing people that you can just talk to.
Yeah, we do find it hard to open up to our nearest and dearest. And I feel
I still don't know why that is.
I feel like they've known us all our life as well, so they know us in a different capacity. And especially if it's like relationships that you're opening up to them about, because they know the other person too. Or you might have only gone to them and told them the bad sides every time you've had an argument or disagreement, and you've only. So then they do have their certain opinions on the situation or the person. Whereas if it's someone you've never met before, it's a stranger, and you just tell them, then they're partial. They don't take sides, and they can give you advice, you know, proper advice that's not because they've known you all your life. They're not necessarily taking your side. They might not even agree with you. They might tell you, you know, what they feel you need to hear, but that's healthy as well. Not just being a yes person all the time and just saying yes and agreeing with someone because you're scared to have conflict or tell them how you really feel.
It's hard because I feel like even like, I don't know, your brothers, your sisters, aunties, whatever, you feel like those are the people that you should go to. But there's just a block. There's like a mental block. I mean, even for me personally, I'm just like, but why? Like you said, they see you in a different light.
Yeah.
But then it's like, why? Is it because you don't want them to? I don't know. It's a funny one for me.
It's hard to reach out and open up to, but they should be the people that you can reach out and open up to the most. Like when I was going through my stuff, I've got an older brother, but I never ever told him what I was going through or reached out or opened up to him about what was going on, you know?
Yeah. And then you look back and you think, I should have. Like, why didn't I?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But I guess, yeah.
It is. But like I said, we're learning every day. We're learning about so many different things and trying to navigate life and change our ways and, you know, do the right thing. It's all a learning curve, and
It is.
we're trying to be positive and make a change and, you know, heal and all of that, be the best version of ourselves for our kids, the best parents. Like, it's a lot going on, but
It is a lot.
if you're a person that's on that path and trying to do that, then you're on the right path and you do the right thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well, it's been great.
Oh, it's been amazing.
I want to thank you for
girl.
coming on. I want to ask you whether there's anything that you'd like to say before we close this episode. Do you want to promote your pages? Is there any other businesses you'd like to plug in or promote? Yeah.
I'd just like to say, oh God, look at me. Okay, well, I'd just like to say, what would I like to say? I just want to highlight the importance of like looking after yourself and connecting with yourself and making you the most important person in your life. And that's all. My Instagram is _bellbeing_. And yeah, it's been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You've been a good guest.
Thank you.
It's been a good conversation.
And
I'm grateful that you made it here today and come on the show. So
my pleasure.
Thank you to everybody that, you know, subscribe to the Missing Peas podcast on YouTube. For anybody that comes across this that hasn't, please subscribe, please like, please follow, please share. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, then please DM the Instagram page at the Missing Peas podcast. And yeah, that's it. We're right now until the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.